Uh-oh. I'm looking for the charger, guys. Hold on. Give me 1 sec. I was looking for the charger for the freaking thing, and then we went live before I could even put the freaking charger on there. I don't know. Oh, I found it. Okay, it's not that. It wasn't too complicated. Wasn't too complicated. What is up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. I always forget what day we're on whenever it comes to these days and weeks and all that other good stuff. It gets complicated. Oh, we're freezing. Let's not freeze too much. We don't want to freeze too much, guys. Happy Wednesday, guys. Happy Wednesday. What's up? I hope that you guys are having a great time. I'm selling myself out. What can you do? It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. How is everybody doing on this beautiful Wednesday? I had a really good day today. Slept in a little bit, got in a little bit of work, went for a nice little walk, meditation, guys, meditation. Hey, Lori, thank you for liking the page. And I know I always forget this at the beginning, but guys, if you can just very easily click that like button, on Facebook or Twitch or Twitter or, whatever, all those things that I do this every day, and you would think that I would be good at it by now, but I'm not. I'm not that good at it. Thank you, Rick, for liking the page. Go on, guys. Go on right now. Click that like button. Click that share button. Try to make sure that we get this pushed out to as many people as we can so that you can share your love for the professional wrestler Paul Jordane as we all can. Whatever, man. It was a good day, though. It was a good day. Versace Stoner. What about the New England All-Stars screw job? I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just living my life, brother. But, what's up, little Dicrolix Die over there? Don't call yourself Dicrolix Die. Why would you call yourself Dicrolix Die, Crolix? Don't do that. Anyway, guys, we're covering the Montreal Screw Job today, which is always one of the biggest tropes in professional wrestling. There's always been this debate, and I always debated it myself because I always wondered if it was true or not. Did I really think that the screw job, which is over 20 years ago now? We're in 2020, so it's like maybe 25 years away. You know what I mean? Maybe 25 years away or 25 years ago. I don't remember the exact date that it was. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Here, let me look it up. It's not really that hard to say. What am I doing? I'm making shit complicated on myself for no reason. All I got to do is just go to the old Googs and look it up. Even though my computer don't use Googs, it goes straight to Yahoo whenever I type it in. Let's see when this was. You'd think I'd be prepared for this, right, guys? When was the Montreal? Google ain't going to know that shit. Screw job, Ronald. Screw job. You put in screw job, then you'll get it. There we go. It was, what year was it? 1997. 1997. So that's been a long time. 24 years. So what has transpired between then and now? There were so many. See, the Montreal Screw Job is a very weird one. It's a very weird one. Hold on one sec. We're gonna go back real quick to the comments, and then we'll continue on. Versace Stoner, fair enough. Good to see you. Doing well. Thank you, Versace. I appreciate it, brother. Good to see you too. What's up, Allison, over there on the IG? Good to see you over there, hanging out on the old IG. And then we got Sam Moxley. What's up, Sam Moxley? How are you, man? How have you been? I've been doing really good, man. I've been doing really good. Getting myself into the best shape. I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in my life. But I keep having like these mini injuries that keep popping up. So I have to be, and I'll update you guys on the Shred Shed stuff, because the Shred Shed stuff, I'm going to be putting a lot more of the Shred Shed stuff. I've been recording a lot of footage in the Shred Shed, but I'm just trying to figure out what exactly to do with the footage and how I want to use it. I'm not quite sure exactly how to use it. I'm thinking about maybe a weekly update of the Shred Shed stuff, but yeah, I've been doing really good. I'm getting healthier, getting a lot healthier. I'm way healthier than I've ever been when it comes to biologically, but physiologically, I still have some little hang-ups here and there that hurt. But I'm a wrestler. That's what we do. We always have these little things that hurt us, and you got to deal with it, and you got to keep moving. But Sam Moxley said, "My nieces Serenity, Alexis, and Aria are doing good. Rennie and Luli finished school. Rennie will be going in 5th grade, and Luli will be in the 1st grade. Good for them. Congratulations, guys. I'm glad that you guys are moving on up in the world, and you're getting your little schooling in. Get your little schooling in, guys. Rick Morris, what's up, brother? How are you, my man? And then Lisa Nolan. What is going on, Lisa, and how are you? I hope that you're having a good day. I hope that everybody's having a good day. Let's jump into it. So the Montreal Screw Job. There is so many people that debate whether the Montreal Screw Job was a work or not. Whether it was, because you have to remember, like, wrestling's always had these weird question marks, whether it was that real or was it not? Was it this or was it that? Did the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan really hate each other, or did they just have a public feud? So they talk shit about each other anytime they were doing an interview, but they would go and have beers with each other and like hang out just to keep interest. I mean, that's what people do anyway. Like, it's like the YouTube people, like the YouTube stars, or like YouTube in real life streamers and shit like that. Most of them get their followings by having like little mini feuds with each other. So we know that having feuds with people and then having some type of personal beef or vendetta is more likely to get people interested in your shit. But the Montreal Screw Job mixed in the personal shit with a lot of the business shit. So it got really, really hard. Thank you, Lisa Nolan, for liking the page. Woo! We got another like, baby. We got another like. Thank you, Lisa. That is awesome. I appreciate you more than you even know. More than you even know, Lisa. I just want you to stay cool and stay on top of it. But the Montreal Screw Job is one of the most controversial, it's just one of the most controversial storylines, I guess, or I guess you could call it an incident. I guess it was an incident. Is that what you would really call it, though? I guess you would call it an incident. But I've always wondered if it was real or not. So I don't know. Here's the thing, and we're going to go over a couple of the videos, because I have a video of X-Pac and Kevin Nash talking about them thinking that it's a work, and then Jim Cornette talking about how it's not a work, but one of the referees, I forgot what his name was, Earl Hebner said that it was a work. So, what the hell? Hold on, I'm getting the hiccups again, guys. Sorry. Gotta be patient with me, baby. Gotta be patient with me. But anyway, that's one of the biggest things is, was it a work or was it not a work? And then you have all of these different variables that went into it, because Bret Hart was filming a documentary at the time. At that exact time, He was filming a documentary. I don't know if it was called Wrestling with Shadows, the Bret Hart story of Montreal or whatever, but that was what it culminated in. But he was doing a documentary, and now I'm assuming that he was doing a documentary based on his wrestling career and him moving from WWE to WCW, and they wanted to get that transition. Maybe that's what they were doing, but I'm sure that they really wanted to get the transition of him getting screwed over, which was brilliant. And he wore, so like leading up into it, to drop the title in America because he is a Canadian hero, and the Canadians, like, he didn't want to disappoint his Canadian fan base. Understandable, because he has to live in Canada after his career. So he does want his people to support him to the best of their abilities, of course, but this is wrestling. It's wrestling. So did it need to get pulled out that much? Did it need to be pulled out that much? Like, they lifted the veil up so much, especially in that documentary, where I just think that the fact that they had cameras all around following Bret Hart this whole time, what if Vince McMahon and Bret just sat down and had a conversation like, hey, man, we're going to work this shit. When we come into the building, just you just stick to your side. I'm going to stick to my side, and we're going to play it up on camera. And whenever it's all said and done, I need you to knock the shit out of me in the locker room. Vince McMahon will take a punch. He's a fucking billionaire, but he'll take a punch. He's jumped from the top of the, like, he's done all kinds of wild. He's a crazy psycho too. Like, just because Vince McMahon's a fucking billionaire and he's got all this shit going on doesn't mean that he's not a psycho. He's in the wrestling business. He's probably a psycho. And he's like the most successful promoter in the those things where it's like it felt like it was a work, but it was such a good goddamn work that you don't even know for sure. But that's how a great work is. A great work will have you guessing, did they really do that? Did they really mean that? How did this happen? What is going on? It just makes you question. Even if it's not making you question if it's for real, even if it's just making you question, did the wrestler not like what happened? That right there causes enough drama. There's so much drama in wrestling just by these little pieces alone. So I'm more likely to think that if you have experienced wrestlers like that, and he's on his way out, but they want to take advantage of the fact that he is doing it, I don't know. I feel like it was a work. I feel like it was a brilliant, brilliant work done by the best of the best in the business. And they were the best of the best of the business. I mean, think of all the guys who were involved in that. They're the best of the best. None of them were the shits. Every single one of them had a good reputation, especially in professional wrestling. They understood the business. Their majority of, like, all of their families have been in the business for so long. Of course they would work the Montreal Screw Job. They know the long-term effects of it. These people are not stupid. They've been in the business for a long time. In order for you to last a long time in the professional wrestling business, you can't be a stupid person. You can't be. But we'll jump back into the chat real quick, and then we'll continue on with our conversation about the Montreal Screw Job, because I love the Montreal Screw Job. It's so fun to debate, because it's like you'll see Scott Hall, and Scott Hall's like, yeah, bro, that shit was a work, bro. And it's like, you're fucking best friends with Shawn Michaels. Did Shawn Michaels tell you that, or are you just working everybody? See, you can't trust any of the wrestlers because they're all workers. They're all working everybody. If they're a real wrestler, if they're a real worker, they're working everybody. If they know how the business works, then they know that you have to work the crowd, but you also have to work everybody. Everybody. That's what you do. That's the business, guys. That's the business. It's all fake. We're all fake. Everybody's fake. Your public persona is fake. Not even in just professional wrestling. Whenever you act like you have manners when you're at your job, surely somebody during that time when you're in the societal norm will say something that will make you want to punch them in their fucking face. But you can't do that because why? Because we're being fake. And that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. We are being fake. Of course, we got to be fake because I don't want to get in a fight every time I feel like somebody disagrees with me and I get mad at them. And of course, you get mad when somebody disagrees with you in a certain extent. Not always, not always. You shouldn't always get mad. If you always get mad when somebody disagrees with you, you got problems. You got a lot of problems. But it's a natural human thing. We are all humans, and I love the human experience. I'm all about the human experience. You guys know that. But anyway, we'll get back to it. Lisa, thanks. We love you from the front row, rowdy ladies from Bama. Love you too, Lisa. You know it. We love wrestling, and I love you, Lisa. Micah, wrestling with shadows feels almost planned, even though it isn't. I know. Well, that's the thing, too. So whenever you're filming, like a lot of these types of things, and I've gotten, like I know this from the little bit of experience that I have from doing my YouTube show when we would do Went for a Walk, Got Lost. You want to gather as much footage as you can. You want to just keep recording so that you can gather as much good shit as you can. And I'm sure that they gathered so much good shit and they were able to put it together into such a systemic story to where it looks like it was all natural. But there were different pieces that they had to put together. And you can make it all look real. But it just depends. Really, it just depends. Krista Ayakano. It was a work and a screw. It was a work and a screw. Can it be both? How can it be both, though? You got to tell me. You got to tell me how that is, Krista, because I don't. It seems like it was more of a screw job to me. I felt like, no, not a screw job. More of a, It felt like more of a work. Because Vince could have turned the shit off. He could have turned the shit off. He could have turned it all off. Or they could have turned the camera somewhere else or, like, not let anything know and then, like, not have the commentary just kind of hang out to dry like that. It's one of those things. But who knows, Krista? Who knows? But you tell me your theory, Krista. What do you mean it was a work and a screw? How could it be both? Because if you're working it, then you already know that it's a screw, so you can't get screwed over. So what do you mean? What do you mean, Krista? Please let me know. Lori, I don't think Brett was in on it, but who knows? Right. It doesn't seem like Brett was in on it. It really doesn't seem like Brett was in on it. Paul, do you remember the first guy you wrestled? Yes, I do. I do remember the first guy I wrestled. Do you know who I wrestled the first time I ever wrestled? I don't think you know, because it wasn't a guy. Micah, but why would Vince want Brett to go to WCW then? That's why I think it's legit, because WWF champ wouldn't just leave for a work. Right, well, that's the thing. So we have to think about, like, the context of the situation. And the context of the situation is Bret Hart wanted more money. Vince McMahon could not pay him the money that he was wanting. Or Vince McMahon wanted out of the contract that he already had with Bret Hart. So he wanted out of it. And in order to get out of a multi-million-dollar deal that you made with one of your talents, it would seem like it would make sense to have a conversation with him and say, hey, man, I really can't afford this shit. I'm going to let you go, but maybe you can get some money out of WCW, because WCW at that time was signing everybody to these immaculate contracts that did not require that much at all. WWE probably weren't able to even compete with those contracts, which is why they got so many of the top tier talents at the time. But Bret Hart was he in his late 30s, early 40s at that time? So it's safe to say that his best years were behind him. And with hindsight being 2020, we do know that his best years were behind him, barring the kick in the head from Goldberg. Obviously, Goldberg kind of ruined all that, because the execution of excellence would have probably lived a little bit longer, or would have wrestled a little bit longer. But He got kicked in the head by Goldberg. But he did not. There were no. Here's the thing, though. Think about this. Like, you can think about legendary, crazy, badass matches. How many legendary, crazy, badass matches can you think came from WCW? I can only think of one, and that's Goldberg versus Hulk Hogan at the WCW Nitro when they were at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. And that was when Goldberg won the championship for the first time. And that was like one of the fucking biggest. That was one of the biggest deals. That was one of the biggest deals, So it was like, Lisa, true. Krista, anything is possible. That's true too, Krista. Exactly. That's very true too. Everyone is in on it but Brett. I think that probably makes the most sense out of all of it. That they were all working Brett. And then maybe they didn't fill in his friends because obviously his friends would tell him that they're planning on screwing him over. But I feel like that's probably more likely. That feels like that's more likely the scenario. They were working Brett. Brett legit got screwed, but yeah, I like that. That's a good point, Krista. That's a very good point. Lori, it doesn't fit with Brett's character to do that. Right. And because he's never done anything like that before in his life. Like he's never done, we have a history of seeing Bret Hart perform, and his family, let's not act like his family does not have a close relationship with the McMahons, because Vince McMahon bought Stampede Wrestling and he paid them an absorbent amount of money for Stampede Wrestling, and he did not buy out everybody's company until later until he needed the tapes for the WWE network. But he didn't spend that much money on them, but he did give the Harts a good bit of money because he had to pay them. So it's all squirrely, right? And then a lot of the Harts still work for Vince McMahon. And then even though Bret Hart got screwed over by the company, Owen Hart kept working for Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon wanted Owen to be his guy. Apparently, that's what the word on the street is. We don't know for sure because I never heard Vince McMahon say it. But we're all working off of rumors and innuendo here anyway, so what can you do? That's wrestling for you, baby. Thank you, Erwin Molino, one of my favorites. Erwin Molino, go on liking that page. And guys, if y'all can go on and like that page, help push us out to more people, so that we can get the Just Jordane show out there to more people. But the more variety of wrestling shows we got, we're going to be getting more people in here anyway. So it's cool. Lisa, love wrestling. I watched a lot of them, a lot too. Take care. Micah, have you ever read the WCW book by Guy Evans, Nitro, The Incredible Rise and Incredible Collapse of Ted Turner's WCW? No, I haven't, but that's on my list. I have a list of WWE. And this was one of my wrestlers that I trained with. He was telling me about this book that I had to read for WWE between 2005 and 2008, which was like some of their best fucking storylines. And then I watched one of their matches last night from that year, and oh my God, a lot of their stories were so damn good at that year's. So I might have to check that out, Micah. So can you? Yeah, I might have to check that out. Ray versus Eddie at Halloween Havoc. Yeah, Ray versus Eddie at Halloween Havoc. And that being Ray's debut. Was that Eddie's debut too? I don't remember. But Ray versus Eddie, like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, those two obviously, well, first of all, they're two of the best just professional wrestlers, period, that you're just going to start off with. Your baseline is starting off with the best, because these guys grew up in a wrestling ring. They grew up in a wrestling ring. This is not like, this is all they know, and they are fucking good at it. And then that was an opportunity for two Mexican wrestlers at the time, which they're Texans really, but they're Mexican wrestlers technically because that's where they built their name up at, coming in and then getting that clout like that, man. I mean, they went to ECW too. I mean, we know the actual story. It wasn't just like that. But I mean, come on. Yo, Danny Keogh, what's up, brother? Watch 5 of their matches. It's all lit. Yeah. Exactly. Watch any Ray versus Eddie match anywhere. It's always solid. Always number one. always top tier wrestling because, I mean, think about the fucking wrestlers that you got in there. They're two of the absolute best. And if Eddie didn't die, I'm sure that he would still be around today doing a little bit of something. And Rey Mysterio is still around. Still around. But anyway, it's not about Eddie and Rey right now. Even though I do have, for one of my subjects, the Guerreros versus the Hearts, the Texans versus the Canadians, which family was better? Which wrestling family was better? And then we can go Von Erichs, but there's some other wrestling families we can do. But the Guerreros and the Hearts are like two of the top tiers in my eyes. But Micah said also Flair versus Dusty 85. Oh my God, yeah. A lot of that old school Dusty stuff, I was showing little Adam that. I was showing my little brother that. Most of the OG War Games matches are all badass WCW matches. That's a good point. Yeah, Ray and Eddie. Micah, I was thinking more so of the main event. I was thinking of like main event matches. Main event matches from WCW. Because anything that Ray and Eddie do, dude, you nailed me on that one. I have to step back and be like, okay, yeah, it's fucking Ray and Eddie, of course. But I'm thinking more in the main event area because a lot of their main events were the shits, and their undercard was amazing. But then WWE's main events were amazing, but then their undercard was meh. It was meh. Can't forget Anoia. Anoia? Who are you talking about? Anoia? Who's Anoia? Are you talking about Prince Iaukea? Who are you talking about? Danny? Krista said, Vince wanted out, so did Brett. He wouldn't go down in his terms, so that's why Vince porked him in his own town. I know, in his own town, right? In his own town. That's why Vince porked him in his own town. So that's, he figured he would take the hit at the end because he would be gone. Right. He would be gone and then that would be it. Christopher Barclough, thank you for liking the stream. I agree with Krista, Lori. Yeah, I agree with Krista. I think that they both did Samoans. Oh, the noise. Oh, I got you. My mom actually served Sika. She works at a restaurant serving breakfast, and she actually served Sika the other day. She sent me a picture of her and Sika, so that was pretty cool. I gotta call him now. I'm just the worst at. I just gotta do better with my communication, guys. I gotta communicate better. I get distracted in my own little world. Christopher Barclough, Bret Hart is my favorite wrestler, the Montreal Screw Job. Yes, the Montreal Screw Job. That's what we're talking a little bit about today, but yes, that's just one of the biggest tropes for it. Now, I'm going to do my hashtag IHTP, and then we're going to cover a couple of videos going over some of the stuff that some of these guys have talked about because I have X-Pac and Kevin Nash talking about them thinking that it was a work, and then we have Jim Cornette talking about how he doesn't think it was a work. So that's going to be a fun one. But let me go IHTP real quick, and then I will BRB, and then we will continue on. But just give me a little bit of time. Let me go IHTP, and I will BRB. Okay. Sorry we took so long. Nice mic. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I like the mic. It works pretty well, especially whenever we're trying to, All right, let's see. Montreal Screw Job was a work, shoot, double cross. I hated Shawn Michaels. I wasn't a big fan of Shawn Michaels growing up. A bunch of Flair versus Sting matches. Last Nitro, by the way. And most of the early NWO stuff, I don't think it was that amazing. No, there were too many. Nah, I don't agree, Micah. I don't agree. I think that they had really good stories, but they didn't have really good matches. I don't think that nah. The NWA main event matches were still good, but the WCW matches, whenever you get into 99, 98, 2000, 97, 96, I mean, like Hogan and Flair. What can you do with that? At the time, it was probably amazing because it's Hogan and Flair, but how many times have we seen that now? We have hindsight. Christopher Barclough, Jim Cornette says it was a work, shoot, double cross. The Undertaker wasn't happy with it. I don't think anybody was really happy with it, but I think now it sounds like it was one of those things where it was a work for some people, it was legit for some people, it was a little bit all over the place, all over the damn place. Micah said, also, I saw on Twitter that CM Punk may return, at least in talks with AEW. Are you behind the hype, or do you not care about him? I liked CM Punk on the indies, but that was before I started wrestling. And then I think that, I don't really know the dude personally or anything, but when it comes to the wrestling business, it's definitely it would definitely be a huge thing. It would be amazing for wrestling if CM Punk returned. I'm all about the hype if the hype is for real. If the hype is for real, dude, I'm all about it. I would hope for that. I would love that because we need some type of a legit top guy over there at AEW. I mean, like a lot of the WWE guys who get released and then get over there, like head over there, don't necessarily end up being like the top guys. But that's the history of wrestling anyway. Like every now and then they don't get it right. And this was more CM Punk deciding to leave if he wanted to, but who knows? Christopher Barclough, Eric Bischoff didn't use Bret Hart the right way. CM Punk returns to WWE at the Royal Rumble. That would be the way to go if he did it. If he did that, that would be the way to go. And AEW doesn't really have anything like that. What's their pay-per-view schedule? What's their? I don't even know much. I don't even know much about the AEW schedule or anything like that. But Micah, I'm definitely down for some CM Punk, 100%. I would love for CM Punk to come back because he's a wrestler's wrestler. You gotta love the wrestlers, man. You gotta support the wrestlers. But anyway, let's see what these let's see what Kevin Nash. Let's see what Kevin Nash and Six-Pac says, or X-Pac says, or whatever the fuck you want to call him. He has so many 1, 2, 3 Kid, Lightning Kid. He has so many different wrestling names. It doesn't, How are we supposed to even know? All right, Kevin Nash. Here's what Kevin Nash has to say. So we'll do that, and then we'll come back.
I hadn't talked to him about 12 years. I was just in Germany with him. I had this fucking theory. I'm like, I know Brett. I mean, I used to drive with him a lot. I know Brett. And I just knew he was way too sharp, man, not to see that coming a mile away. I mean, fucking Stevie Wonder could see that shit coming.
Stevie Wonder could see it coming.
And I'm like, Brett, first thing, man. You can't tell me you didn't see that fuck job coming a mile away. As soon as Pat Patterson comes, and there's been some issues with the finishing anyways, leading up to it. You know, nobody knew what the finish was going to be. Da, 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 da.
It's my blood pressure medicine. Don't anybody get all fucking hot.
This fucking...
He's saying that because he's a known pillhead. Or is that rude for me to say? He even said it, but he likes pills.
Pat, when it came to me and said, yeah, this would be a good fucking going into the finish. Sean gets you in your own fucking submission, and then you reverse it on him. The antennas would have popped up right there with me. I'd have been like, yeah, right. And he basically kind of alluded to, without actually all out admitting that, he kind of saw it coming. You know, I don't know if that's a big revelation.
I think it was work.
He kind of what?
I think that it's quite too, without actually all out admitting that he kind of saw it coming. You know, I don't know if that's a big revelation.
I think it was work.
I think that it's quite possible. The whole thing
my whole thing was when they showed, like...
Let's not forget exactly who these guys are. These are Shawn Michaels' best friends. Shawn Michaels' best friends. Let's not forget who they are.
The whole fucking deal, and they showed Vince come out with his hair messed up. He was selling the punch.
He was selling the punch.
Anybody that knows Vince McMahon knows that if Vince McMahon doesn't sell 3 years of the federal government up his fucking ass, he doesn't sell a fucking spinal fusion. He didn't sell a double quad injury. He's gonna sell a fucking punch from one of his boys on fucking film.
And he did
On film. Right. That's a good point. He's going to put over the fact that one of his boys punched him in the face. I don't think he'd be selling that. That's a really good point though, because they would be right about that. They'd be right about that. So, obviously, now Sean Waltman and Kevin Nash don't believe him. They believe that it was a work tried and true. And it comes off like a work, guys. It comes off like a work. But was it really? You never really know until the others were able to admit it. And I don't think that they would be able to admit that. I don't think so. What's up, Cryptics? How are you, brother? Good to see you up in the chat, man. I'm glad that you're back. We don't get to see you very often. How you been, man? Christopher Barakloff, Sean Waltman, a.k.a. 123 Kid, The Kid, 6, X-Pac, The Lightning Kid, 6-Pac. He's everything, man. 6-Pac or X-Pac. He is everything. He was everything. All right, so now we got the opinion of Kevin Nash and Sean Waltman. And we know that Sean Waltman, or a.k.a. X-Pac, we know that they are really, really good friends with Shawn Michaels. So what is the story that Shawn Michaels would be wanting to have out? Maybe he would want it to be a work so that he doesn't look like so much of a dick. Maybe, maybe not. That's a hard thing to tell, but it does seem like it's a work. Kevin Nash, a.k.a. Vinny Vegas. Yeah, Vinny Vegas. Exactly. Krista, that film crew was there for Brett. Vince getting shocked was real. What about The Undertaker being pissed? But we don't see The Undertaker being pissed. That's the problem. The film crew was there for Brett, but let's not act like Vince McMahon walking in the hallway of an arena is not aware that there's cameras. He owns the company. They have cameras throughout all of those hallways. If you've ever been backstage at a WWE event, which I have been more than one occasion, there's cameras everywhere. There's a bunch of stuff going on at once. There's more than just the wrestling, guys. There's more than just the wrestling going on. There's a big-ass production crew. There's a big-ass road crew who's putting it all together, making it all work. So there's a lot of stuff that's moving around and doing things. So that's why it gets squirrely, because you can get away with a lot of stuff. So it's hard to say for sure. But yeah, the film crew was there for Brett. But I know that Vince, you have to know that Vince knows that there's cameras around. But then again, he didn't know that Brett was secretly recording his audio whenever he went in for the conversation with him. But then maybe he did. maybe that was all a work for the documentary. And Brett was like, hey, bro, I got a documentary to do. And if you want to make this deal with me to get me out of your company, you have to agree to do this documentary. What if Brett said that to Vince? Vince was like, kind of sucks, but sure, let's get it over with. It'll create some controversy, which creates cash. And I've heard Eric Bischoff say that controversy creates cash. So maybe that'll work. Maybe. But it's still. All right. Wrestling with Shadows was an awesome documentary. Yes, it was. Krista. Yeah, I get it. Yes, I have too. Yeah, right. You get it. Like you know, like especially back then it was still different too because you didn't have the cell phones in everybody's faces. But there was still that you knew that there was going to be some cameras on your face. I'm Cryptics. I'm doing good. I have a story for you to talk about. Laughing my ass off. Unless it changes the topic. Otherwise, I'll tell you another time. Well, once we finish up this topic, we're almost finished anyway. But once we finish up that, yes, let's talk about it, brother. Let's talk about it. Christopher Barclough, Brett got out of the shower and punched Vince in the face. That's what they say. What's up, Heather Cole? How are you? Lori, Vince will take any publicity, good or bad. Yeah, he will. He really... Vince will really, of course, I will too. Yeah, you should take it. Take it good or bad, guys. Take it good or bad. Lori, Vince will take, sorry, Krista. Didn't Sean say that he was in on it, but he was unaware of Brett knowing? I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to go back and see some of Shawn Michaels. I'll have to go back and see some of Shawn Michaels stuff or some of his shoot interviews, because I don't remember him ever saying that. That doesn't sound familiar to me, but it could, though. It makes sense when you say it like that, you know? Christopher Barclough, Sean was in on it. Yeah, Sean was in on it, but the thing is, he didn't know if Brett was in on it, you know? Krista, I thought I saw that recently. I got to check that out. That'll be an interesting one, too, to add to the layers of the legend of the Montreal Screw Job, because we all know about the Montreal Screw Job. So I got one more video for us over here, and this one was in the vein of it being a work, and now we're gonna do in the vein of it being a shoot. And now, guys, if you're not aware of Jim Cornette, you have to be careful because you may be being worked right now. Jim Cornette is one of the top-tier workers in the business and has been a top-tier worker in the business for how many years has he been in the business? 30, 40, 50? How I don't know how old the fucking guy is, but he knows his shit and he knows his layers. He knows how the business works. He knows how to make people interested in what he's talking about. But it's all such a mess. It's all a mess, and that's what's beautiful about it, because it's a subject that I'm doing a whole show right now on the fucking Montreal Screw Job, and that happened how long ago? 24 years ago? That's crazy. But not really, because this is the world we live in, you know? Ooh, Jim Cornette hates Vince Russo with a passion. I have a video from 1996 of Vince Russo arguing with Jim Cornette, and Jim Cornette going off, them two just going off on each other, and it is fucking brilliant. But I'm not going to play it here because I don't want to get copyrights, and I know that. Well, I hope that Cornette's not going to call me for the copyright for the audio for this, but we're going to give it a shot anyway, and we'll try. Let's see here. Heather, how are you doing today? Heather, I'm doing wonderful. Christopher Barclough, Sean is a lying prick. I hated him. I think everybody hated him. Cryptics. All you guys are talking about is Greek to me. I know nothing about wrestling. I just enjoy the stream. It's all good, brother. It's all good, man. Wrestling Wednesday. Wrestling Wednesday. We got Wrestling Wednesday, and then we cover a little bit of everything. You know how the streams normally go on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. But Wrestling Wednesdays, I'll cover the wrestling because I'm a wrestler. So we gotta keep the wrestling stuff in there a little bit. But I'm with you, Cryptics. Definitely, it is all Greek. Especially, this is one of those niche. You have to be a wrestling person to even know the intricacies of it. And even then, it's going to take you a little bit of time to know Bret Hart, to know Vince McMahon, to know all the variables involved, and then try to figure out what you think is the truth and what you think isn't the truth. That's what's beautiful about professional wrestling is it's not that, oh, this is what happened. It's like, I think this is what happened, but I don't know. I don't know if I can trust them or not. I don't know. Krista, one convoluted mess that we are still talking about. Wrestling is great, isn't it? Yeah. That's literally what I just said. Yeah, you nailed it, Krista. You nailed it. That's it. And I have to read that one more time just for those in the back. One convoluted mess that we are talking about years later. Wrestling is back 24 years later. We're still talking about the Montreal Screw Job. And I know they always talk about it on their shows and stuff like that, but it is what it is. Christopher Barclough, Jim Cornette hates Vince Russo with a passion. Yes. I got a couple of those videos of Vince Russo. But I still think that's a work. I think that the Vince Russo, Jim Cornette is a work. It's too perfect. You got the New York city slicker who talks shit about wrestling, but he's still in the business. Obviously, he loves the business, but he talks shit about it like, you shouldn't take it seriously. And then you have Jim Cornette who takes it super seriously and is offended that you don't take it so seriously. But yeah, Krista, I that's what I love about it. That's what's fun about it. Is like we're sitting here having an hour-long conversation about something that happened 24 years ago that's just entertainment. They were recording a show. They were literally just doing a show for one night, and yet everybody's still talking about it to this day. One of the best storylines ever. Whether it's real or not, doesn't matter. One of the best storylines ever. It has to be. It has to be. 24 years ago, WWF, SummerSlam, 1997. Cryptics. Cryptics. I played WWE 2K19. Does that count? Bro, that counts. You're in. You're all in. Fuck it. Your count. Definitely. Most of fucking wrestling these days now is video game bullshit anyway. So yeah, pretty much. Christopher Barclough. I've been a wrestling fan since 1985. Good shit. I am Cryptics. I've heard of John Cena. Does that make me a wrestling pro? It makes you a wrestling layman. You're a wrestling layman. You get a little bit of the intricacies, but I couldn't say a pro yet. We can't put the pro on you yet, Cryptics. Still got a lot to know. Still got a lot of information out there. I love a lot of the older shit. There's a lot of newer shit that's still being created to these days, but I don't like a lot of the newer shit, guys. I got to be honest. I'm bored with all of the newer shit. I get so bored with it. And I have to go watch a lot of the old stuff. Krista. Krista, Cryptics is green. Cryptics is just green. That's all. Laughing my ass off. I'd say my favorite wrestler ever, though, was Braun Strowman. There you go. Braun Strowman. Oh, too bad. He was recent released, too, and that's unfortunate. Shy has liked the page. Thank you so much, Shy, for liking the stream. Thank you so much. And Shy has returned to the stream. So everybody, make sure that you guys say hello to Shy. Make her have a beautiful, happy welcome. Now we're going to watch this last video right here, and then I'm going to have that little bit of a conversation that we can have with Cryptics because he's got a story for me. So let's do this real quick, and then we're going to continue on.
Another popular topic. Many people have sent in this question on email and Twitter. I'll read one of them. This is from Twitter using the hashtag #CornyDriveThru from almost a pair. Recently, Earl Hebner was quoted as saying that 23 years later, he thinks the Montreal Screw Job was a work.
Guys, this is the referee who worked the match. This is the referee that worked the match. And he was fired by WWE because he was selling unlicensed WWE stuff at his store. Side note. But he still claims to this day he thinks it... You were involved in it. What do you mean you don't know? How do you not know? Shy, hey Ron, can you share your donation link? I wish to donate. Yeah, it's on the Shy. It's on. I'll start posting it. Just double check for tomorrow. I'll put it up tomorrow. I do have to start putting that stuff up onto my into my just normal subject screen that I always have there because everybody else has it, but I don't, and I've been lacking on that. And I'm not going to fix it right now, but I'll fix it. I'll fix it tomorrow, and then we'll be good with that tomorrow. But I'm sorry. That's just what it is. Anyway, I am Cryptix. I'm always your only Twitch viewer. LOL. Everyone else is on YouTube. I know. I know. I'm not much of a Twitch. I'm not much of a Twitch guy. It is what it is. We are who we are. I'm not much of a Twitch guy, but I like pushing this shit out to as many different I like pushing this shit out to as many different platforms that we can, man, because Cryptics like you, like sure, not the wrestling shit, but you fucking get what this show's about. You are what this show's about. It's not only about wrestling. That's why we have Wrestling Wednesdays, and then everything else is about normal shit, because that's what it is. But this is what it is, man. And well, Twitch is how I found you. I know, that's what's funny. Like, Twitch is how, yeah. I think that maybe I'm wrong about Twitch, and I've just made my assumptions from YouTube because I spent more time on YouTube because, that's just more my shit that I've dealt with. But that's what it is. Shy, you don't have to say sorry. Send me lots of love and wishes, and that's enough. Lots of love and wishes to you, Shy. 100%. But I am sorry about that. I will get that figured out in the meantime as well, because that's part of the game. Krista, I'm a first timer, and this is great. Krista, I'm glad that you joined us. I'm glad that, and I didn't recognize your name, but I'm glad that you have joined us. And that's what this stream's about. This stream, now normally, Krista, this stream, like, we'll do wrestling on Wednesdays. I mean, wrestling can be every day. Honestly, we do cover, like, it's not like we got to avoid it or anything like that. Like, the subject for sure is wrestling on Wednesdays. But I like to cover a lot of shit. I got a lot of shit that I like to talk about. And this is such a great show for me to be able to do that. So, Krista, hopefully you're going to be able to hang around and you'll be able to see it. So, we'll see. On this show, when you guys discuss my topics, I feel like I'm finally a part of something. Cryptics, yeah, you are a part of... Dude, you are a part of something. 100%. Dude, you 100% are a part of something. Now, you are. You're part of our show, man. You're part of our stream. You're part of our community. This is a community, man. This is what we're having interactions back and forth. Y'all talk to each other. I talk to you. We all go about this. And this is the new age of what the fuck celebrities are, superstars are, wrestling people are. This is what it is. Because I've had plenty of people tell me, like, oh, man, I don't know, man. Well, I don't know about that podcast you do. I don't know about that podcast you do. You might be putting yourself out there too much. Fuck off. Fuck off. It ain't for you. I'm doing this for the people that it's for. That's what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for the people that it's for. And that's for the people who connect with it, man. You don't know. You don't know what the words that are being said until you know. And then finally you figure it out. Then you come together. But anyway, yeah, Cryptics, you know that, brother. You know that. Krista, wrestling is one big family. 100%. Wrestling is one big family. It's one big family, and sometimes we don't get along. Sometimes we do get along. That's just what it is. It's just like the Montreal Screw Job. It's not like Bret Hart never went back to the WWE. He had to let that sit for a little while. He had to go make his millions of dollars and then come back. But that's not, that big of a deal per se, but Cryptics. Don't want to brag, but I've definitely given you some good conversational topics over the streams I've been in. 100%, brother. 100%. But I'm with you on that because I care, man. I want to hear what the hell is going on, and then I want to talk about it. As long as you're comfortable with sharing what's going on in your personal life and all those other good things, because I share what's going on in my personal life. But I just want to make sure that everybody else is comfortable with it. We're not pressuring anybody in here to feel like they have to do anything or they have to say anything, but we are here for each other. We are here for each other. And you have Cryptics, dude, bro, you've brought in a lot of good conversations, brother. A lot of good conversations. And I appreciate it. I need it, man, because I'm like, look, dude, I got a list of shit. And that ain't enough. We do this shit every day, you know? We do this shit every day. So that's part of the game. All right. We're going to finish up this story real quick. And then we'll go on and we'll have a little bit of conversation with Cryptics and see what's going on. We'll get a Cryptics update. How about that Cryptics update, brother?
Stating that he believes he was only there to call for the bell. As one of the three main men who were involved backstage at the time, what are your thoughts?
I love Earl Hebner. I like his son and his brother, and I've known them forever, and I don't know what may have formed all of Earl's opinions, although he's taken a lot of shit for a long time over that, but no, it wasn't a work. Everybody knows it wasn't a work. There's no possibility it was a work. If it had been a work, it wouldn't have worked out that good, because nothing ever lines up that perfectly if you try. But no, we've had enough.
Jim has some really good points, though, guys. Because it never ends up the way you want it to. It never
Anybody
does.
in the business now that says at this point that it's a work is either, and I can understand for Earl being confused by the whole thing and his unique position, but anybody just on the outside looking in that thinks that it was a work at this point is either just trying to get attention or is just a blithering simpleton.
Okay, well that sums that up.
I don't know what else to say at this point. I mean, people are acting like there's still shit that's out there to be revealed and debated, and whose side is right and whose is wrong. No, there's not any debating this. And pretty much between the contemporaneous reporting in the Observer and what I've told on my podcast, you got the goddamn story. And there ain't no more to that story.
Are you surprised that Earl Hebner, all these years later, would say that he thinks it's a work now?
I don't know. Maybe Earl's working. Maybe he'll get more interviews that way. I don't know. Or maybe he's just mind fucked.
Maybe Earl's working.
Himself from dwelling on it all these years to how the fuck at first he thought that he was doing right, then he thought he was doing wrong, then he felt ashamed, then he was embarrassed, then he started enjoying it and fucking making a gimmick out of it. I screwed Brett and all that stuff. That might mess somebody up. I know exactly what happened, and apart from, as I've said, apart from indirectly me being responsible for the fucking,
because apparently Jim Cornette was the one that originally set out, that he was the one that originally gave the idea of the screw job. He named out something that happened in the 1950s or 60s or probably even earlier than that, and was talking about, well, if we're going to do a screw job, we got to do it right, brother. We got to do it right. We got to do it like the way that they did back in the day, man. We got to do it like they did back in the day.
Total ending of kayfabe in general with this whole goddamn fiasco. No, there ain't nothing else out there that ain't come out that needs to come out.
When was the first time you heard someone claim that they thought it was a work?
Oh God, I mean, a few people at the time were like, oh, it has to be, they're in on it. And even some of the boys back then, because the boys, if that's one thing that the dark side of the ring and some of these shoot interviews have done, it's illustrating to fans that just because sometimes guys have been in the business for 30 years doesn't mean they ever knew how it worked. You know what I'm saying? You can tell that. You can tell that sometimes.
Cornette is doing a job, man. He's doing a job trying to get you to understand that it was a work. It was a work. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Do you guys believe Cornette? Because I wouldn't believe Cornette like right off the bat like that, because he's a worker. He's brilliant. He knows what he's doing. He's good at this type of stuff, especially if you spent 30 years faking people out. You don't think he'd be good at lying? Do you really not think that he would be good at lying? Do you think that most wrestlers aren't good at lying? I mean, and I mean the good wrestlers. If you're a good wrestler, you have to be good at lying. You do. Is that a fucking, crazy thing to say? No, it's not. It is what it is. Finish up this Cornette.
It was always natural for the boys to mistrust the office or the promoter, and because all of that stuff happened in the way that it happened, and the documentary crew being there, and then everybody ended up making money, and Brett made money, they just botched his entire career. WCW got the hottest wrestler in the world. Vince got out from under the contract. Vince became Mr. McMahon and soon had a new fucking top star that would make him even more money. Everything happened good, but it wasn't that way at the time.
Lori, I believe Cornette over X-Pac. Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. Yeah. 100%, actually. 100%.
Time, and nobody was planning for it to be that way, and you couldn't have planned for that because you couldn't have planned it. So it just gets ridiculous. But then you also have people that have muddied the water that had no fucking knowledge of anything, or have tried to fucking do their own. Shitstain's going to tell you that he was all over it. DX is going to say that they did this and that and the other thing, and who was in on it, and blah blah blah. And poor Scott Hall still said that it was a work on Dark Side of the Ring, just because they had to have somebody say that, because, but it made him look really
No, they didn't. They did not have to have someone say that.
They didn't have to have somebody say that, but, to present all sides. There is a segment that believes the earth is flat, but we don't let them out in public when grown folks are talking. But anyway, there's nothing else that's going to be revealed about that whole thing.
So Cornette's, he's more on the side of not really believing it. He don't really believe it. I think that it was a hybrid, man. I think there was a work shoot. I think that everybody else was working Brett. Brett was shooting, but everybody was working, and everybody was working Brett. Cryptic said, this guy defending it way too hard. Even I can tell it sounds like BS. It all sounds like BS. That's the thing. If you go too deep into any of this stuff, it gets too BSy. It gets too BSy. All right, guys. I'm going to hashtag IHTP. I'm going to go to the restroom real quick. Cryptics, hit me with that story so that whenever I get back, we can have a conversation about that story, and then we will finish up. So I'm going to jump off. I'm going to hump to the restroom real quick. Cryptics, send me that story while I'm doing that, and then there you go. This is cranberry juice and a little bit of vodka. And then this right here is water, but I just ran out of the water, so I got to refill that shit. IHTP, but then Shy said good on a lie, as in at work or life. Work, silly. Work. Wrestling is a work. Wrestling is a work. That's your job. Cranberry juice is good, guys. Cranberry juice is good. All right, I'll be right back. Got a bolt, Krista. All right, Krista. Well, it was good seeing you. I'm glad that you joined us. Shy said, ha ha ha, you put a t-shirt on your chair. I did put a t-shirt on my chair. You did so fast. Did you finish your toilet? I did. Why you guys always got to talk shit? I'm not going to tell you guys that I'm going to pee anymore. I'm just going to tell you that I have to be off screen for a couple seconds. Or a couple. Is it even a couple minutes? It might not even be a couple minutes. All right, Cryptics. Now we're going to sit back and chit-chat with Cryptics a little bit. Cryptics, what you got, brother? Cryptics said, so I went to the doctor yesterday, and let me tell you exactly how it went. First off, you got to show up at least 30 minutes early. Otherwise, they will say you're late. Is that because of COVID? Is that like a COVID thing? That kind of sucks. Shy said, did you fall down? I heard sound that you dropped something. I don't know. I probably dropped something. I didn't fall down, though. But thank you for checking. No, I didn't fall down. First, you got to show up or they'll consider you late. You fill out some paperwork and watch the people that got there after you go in first. You get there first, and then you see people get there later, and then they come in. Of course. Nice. Gotta love that. So since I'm a teenager, I had to fill out all this depressed and am I going to kill myself stuff. Is that what they give to teenagers now? They give teenagers like the depressed, I'm going to kill myself type stuff? Because that's not a good sign, man. That's not a good sign for the country if we got a lot of kids out there who are suicidal. And I know from wrestling, just being involved in wrestling and dealing with a lot of young kids, and that doesn't mean like elementary school age. I mean, when I say kids, I mean like high school kids too. You do deal with no, I wouldn't say a lot, but you do deal with some suicidal kids who are honest with you about that, and then I think that it's best for us to talk to each other and support each other, man, so that we know we got each other's back. Because especially when you're a teenager, you're more likely to kill yourself if you're a teenager and you're suicidal than you are an adult. So let's just try to take care of each other like that, guys. Let's try to take care of me. Let's try to take care of each other. Shy said, oh, yes, they gave me that too when I had a visit too. So there you go, Cryptics. Shy said that she had the same type of questionnaire. So that's kind of what it is. Sorry, there was a typo. That's okay, Shy. That's part of it. So now we'll get back to Cryptic's story. Cryptic said, so since I'm a teenager, I had to fill out all this depressed, am I going to kill myself stuff. About 15 minutes later, they call me back. And they weigh you. And you see they don't subtract the 3 pounds of clothing you're wearing. They keep that. Yeah, isn't that horse shit? Because I always weigh myself naked. I always weigh myself naked because I can't do it. It's too much. It's just too, come on, man. You're working against me. Don't fucking work against me, bro. Don't work against me. Back to Cryptic's story. Cryptic said, so after weighing me, they take me back to the room and start talking to me and asking if I exercise and drink water and stuff and everything. Went well, and then they check your ears, and I produce a ton of wax, and so she just insulting my ears. Earwax boy. Oh, what are you doing, you little fucking earwax boy? Hey, you're gonna fucking put a wick in that? Huh? You wanna put a wick in all that earwax you got? Your earwax fuck face? Sorry, Cryptics, but I gotta do it. Brother. I gotta do it. I produce a ton of wax, so she's just insulting my ears, LMAO. And she gets a huge-ass Q-tip. Oh, I don't know if I want to even see a huge-ass Q-tip, brother. And then sticks it in my ear over and over again, digging stuff out. Jesus Christ, Cryptics. It sounds like you probably got to fucking... Cryptics, it sounds like you got to put some not alcohol. You got to put some hydrogen peroxide in your ears. That'll bubble it up and get a lot of that stuff out of there. Please don't take my advice on that and sue me for it, because I don't know if that's actually true. But I know that a lot of people do use hydrogen peroxide to actually get the stuff out because it works faster and better. But the Q-tip, and then sticks it in my ear over and over, digging stuff out. And then she has to stop because it started bleeding. Oh, shit. She made you start bleeding? She made you start bleeding? What the fuck? What the fuck, Cryptics? What the fuck? And then she has to stop because it started bleeding. This motherfucker tells me not to use Q-tips because I can damage my ears, but she is literally making my ear bleed. Welcome to the world, Cryptics. Welcome to the world. Do as I say, not as I do, bro. Do as I say, not as I do. That's fucking hilarious. That's such horseshit, though, because I've heard that, too. I've heard the same things. I've heard the same things, and I've dealt with the same things, Cryptics. I've dealt with the same things. So after that, they just tell you all the things you're doing wrong and insulting, all the bad things. What were you doing wrong? Cryptics, can you tell me specifically some of the things that you were doing wrong and what you were doing? What exactly are you doing wrong? Like, what are you doing that's wrong? Not cleaning your ears? Like, not Q-tipping your ears? Not hydrogen peroxiding your ears enough? Like, what are you doing wrong? That's the thing. That's a weird thing, but that's like nurses. Nurses are fucking weird, man. Like, that's some weird shit. So after they just tell you all the things you're doing wrong and insulting all the bad things, they expect you to pay them and then come back a year later for another dose of insulting. I hate the doctor. Yeah, you got to get you a good doctor, man. If you can find you a good doctor, you'll be good. Shy, oh no, it's horrible. He is okay. Is he okay? She's Shy Shy has a lot of typos today. Shy said, God, why am I having typos today? Am I drinking? You are drinking and getting tipsy. I'm the one that's drinking. I don't know about you. I'm having drinks, but you're just chilling. I don't know. That's you. That's you. Cryptics. Apparently, I need to exercise more, and she was insulting the fact that I do online school and saying it's not good for my physical health. What about my mental health, Karen? Right. Well, that's the thing, Cryptics. Neither of it's good, and if you have to... Yeah, I know, Lori's laughing. But here's the thing, Cryptics. Like, here's the thing. At the end of the day, you just have to worry about yourself. And you just have to do exactly what you have to do, and you have to stay in line with your own shit. So stay in line with your own shit. Sure, you're going to deal with people who don't understand where you're coming from or what you're doing, and they're going to think certain things, even if they think that you're out of shape. Doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't fucking matter. Get yourself into whatever shape you want to be in. Figure out exactly what you want to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, because you don't know what you fucking want to do, but it is what it is. It's just an annoying thing. Lori, this conversation. I am Cryptic, so you know something I fucking hate. This is the hugest pet peeve of mine ever. What is it? What is it, Cryptics, before we get off of here? Before we jump off, we got 10 minutes, brother. Tell me what it is. What is your biggest pet peeve? Because it sounds like you don't like people who do not know you and don't understand your story and where you're coming from, trying to tell you what to do and tell you how you are, even though you are living your life, you are doing what you got to do, but there's still these little pieces that you got to put together. Still these little pieces. And everybody feels like they can always tell you what to do, but you have to figure it out too. You have to figure it out You have to figure out exactly how you're going to go about your days. You have to do that because you're going to be an adult soon. When you become an adult, then there you go. Shy did say, don't buy that, Cryptics. Once your mental health is great, your physical health gets stable. It all comes together. It all comes together. It's just one of those things. You get your physical health together, your mental health comes. You get your mental health together, your physical health comes. That's not for sure 100%, obviously, because everyone has their own battles and they have their own challenges when it comes to it. But that's one of the the top things that I see people talking about, especially when it comes to trying to better themselves and get themselves in a better position in the future. It's always tough. It's always tough. But I want to hear your pet peeve, Cryptics, before we get off here. All right. Oh, here we go. I'm Cryptics. When I see videos of people that are fat or super overweight, and you see comments of people saying, she's a queen, saying stuff like, then those same people go to the gym and make fun and laugh at the fat people for trying to make themselves better. I want to beat the fuck out of those people for egging on that people with the worst health and making fun of people trying to make themselves feel and look better. And that's a hard thing that you have to deal with in life in general. There's always going to be people. There's warring tribes. There's warring tribes in the world. And you're going to be part of a tribe, whether it be a wrestling tribe, like we just had our wrestling tribe talk tonight, or you're going to be part of whatever tribe that you connect to. It could be like a heavy metal tribe. I know a lot of people that are like really big into heavy metal, and then they have their own tribes that they get into and those types of things. But once you find those types of things, you're going to deep dive into it. Cars for sure. Well, there you go. Exactly. Cars for sure. And then you'll find your passion, and then you'll be able to build into it. And then it'll make it easier because, look, there's always going to be shit talkers. There's always going to be negativity. There's always going to be humans who are not happy about you doing what you like. So you have to try to make sure that it's like you said, Cryptics, cars for sure. If that's what you're into, then going into that and going deep, head first, deep into it. That right there is only going to keep you more happy because that's going to be your tribe. That's going to be what you're most familiar with. And that's going to help you in the future. But take your time, Cryptics. You're still young, so you have to figure out exactly where your tribe is. My tribe was the wrestling tribe. And though with this show that I do, this isn't a wrestling show. Even though we literally did a wrestling show today. The Just Jordane show is not a wrestling show. It's more of a lifestyle show. It's all those types of things. But Cryptic said, I just have to wait a little longer, another year, and then I can get a car. I'm so close. Take your time, brother. Take your time. A year is just a year. It's not that bad. You will get through it. Take your time. Just trust me. Take your time. You're going to be good, man. You're going to be good. Don't worry. Don't worry too much. Don't be too stressed out about anything. Just try to keep your head on straight because you're going to be good, man. You're going to be good. But it's going to take some time. But a year, in the grand scheme of things, Cryptics, a year is nothing, brother. A year is nothing. It's just part of the game. Did you ever watch the new Fast and the Furious? I remember telling you about it. No. Is it on Netflix? I'll watch it if it's on Netflix. If it's on one of the streaming things, I'll watch it. I'm not going to this. I'm not going to the fucking theater for that. But I'll watch it. I think it's still in theaters. I'm not going to the theaters, Cryptics. I'm not doing it. I refuse. But I'll see it. I'll see it in one of the one of the fucking streamer things. Whatever the streamer things is, I'm gonna do it. We'll do that. Christopher Barclough. Hi, I'm back. All right, Christopher Barclough, I'm glad that you're back because you just came back in time for us to hang up our boots. We're calling it a day, guys. We're calling it a day. This was a very fun episode. I wasn't expecting for us to talk about as much of everything else that we talked about when it came to the Montreal Screw Job. But we had a bunch of pretty good angles with that, and that was pretty fun. Cryptic said, I am so upset I spent money to watch that dog shit movie. Exactly. That's the thing. That's what I wanted to avoid, brother. That's what I wanted to avoid. Lori, good episode. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate that. Christopher Barclough. Yeah, it was. This was a fun episode, guys. Very, very fun episode. We'll be back tomorrow. You guys know that deal. You guys know the deal with the Jordane show. I have been in talks with our with the Spitting Venom crew, and the Spitting Venom crew will be coming back. So that'll be a fun one. We won't be going too often, but we will be going every now and then. So keep your eyes open for the Spitting Venom radio show. That's going to be coming back, and we're going to be having a lot of fun with that. But anyway, guys, we're going to jump off here. I love you guys. I hope you all have a great show. Cryptic said, now that you're ending the stream, off to go stream myself. Cryptics, you guys in the chat, well, I know YouTube and Facebook. You guys go on there to Twitch and follow I Am Cryptics, and then follow his stuff, because we got to support each other. Christopher Barclough, I'm so sorry I missed most of it. That's okay, Christopher Barclough. You can always see the replay.